everyone, and I'm super excited to be here today. First of all, let me say, you guys look great. How are you all doing? My name is Dr. Allana Da Graca, and I'm the president of Turning on the Lights Global Institute. And I want to say welcome to this live stream hosted by EBONI Alumni Association. So I'm super excited to be with all of you today. And I know this is the very first kickoff of this type of live stream. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in now. And thank you for tuning in later. Whether you come in now or you come in later, I'm super excited to see all of you. And I just want to stop by for a few moments to share some of my thoughts around what you can do to stay in motion in the midst of everything that has gone on with COVID-19. So whether you're tuning in all the way in LA or whether you're tuning in here in Boston or any other place where our Emerson alumni, EBONI individuals are, I want to say thank you for tuning in. And really, I'm excited about this time because honestly, when I meet with my clients and I meet with individuals about how we are all doing, a lot of people have a lot of different feelings about what's going on and can they stay in motion given the fact of what's going on with COVID-19. So if you tune in now or later, I just want to say welcome. And hopefully some of the ideas I share with you today will be useful as you think about how you can pivot. So whether you work in an organization or a company or an NGO, or whether you are an entrepreneur or a creative looking to think about how you can raise the bar in what you're doing, I hope that you find this live stream to be very useful. So let me first talk to you. I graduated in Emerson in 2002, and I studied new media and theater education. And then I left that world and went on and started to teach communication in many different colleges. And in 2014, I started my company, Turning on the Lights Global Institute. And really what I have found is that when you can find a way to be creative, to be innovative, and to figure out how you can systemize your ideas, what your work can eventually become very exciting. You see, I know that many of us, if we went to Emerson, if you're listening, can you put in the chat box, what did you study when you went to Emerson? Were you in the arts world? Were you a creative? Were you in design? I would love to hear from you, whether you tune in now or later, but what were some of the things you were doing when you were a student at Emerson? So for me, when I graduated, I took on many traditional roles in academia and also in communications. And I always also had this idea that one day I wanted to start my own program to really galvanize individuals to figure out how they can use their gifts of creative arts or whatever it was and systemize it into an actual business. And what I have found, especially after COVID-19, is simply that everyone is trying to pivot virtually. Everyone is realizing that, what I used to do traditionally is not going to cut it anymore. I just need to be able also to figure out how do I pivot online. So I want to just welcome you all today. And if you're tuning in, let me know where you are streaming in from. So for me, I just can recall 2014, there I was thinking, what more can I do? Just like people are thinking right now. What more can I do given what COVID has brought us? So some people in different industries, maybe they were furloughed, sometimes maybe they were let go. And some individuals, especially if they're creatives, they're asking themselves, well, how can I either A, become an entrepreneur, B, get my message or my idea out there, or C, systemize what I'm doing so that, I can really build a community around the things that I'm passionate about. So today, I just want to stop by for a short message to share with you what I call my click method. You see, whether or not we wanted to or not, many individuals have become digipreneurs. That means an individual who is somehow finding a way to solve a problem or finding a way to communicate and doing it virtually. So how many of you, because I like engagement, so how many of you are tuned in right now, and how many of you are ready to hear some of these ideas that I'd like to share with you? You can click the like button, you can put your comments. All right, Marlene said she studied broadcast journalism and writing. I love it. So a lot of individuals are thinking, well, how can I leverage my skill sets today And how can I do it in the midst of what's going on? So here's the thing. I have this really strong belief that if you're creative, if you know how to write, if you were a filmmaker, if you were someone who everyone said, wow, you speak well, what an awesome opportunity you have right now to leverage the playing field in your given industry. So I want to ask you, how do you right now show up online? Do you have a blog? Are you part of any online organizations or communities? This could be one avenue, but how are you showing up in your industry with social media, right? So not just for personal use, but are you able to show up? So I'd like to know. I would love to hear your feedback and let me know if you're enjoying this conversation, because a lot of us, sometimes we say, I will get to doing that tomorrow. Like, I'll get all my skill sets and the things I've done in the last 10, 15 years. And one day I'll put it together in a blog. One day I'll put it together in a book. Well, I have this great poem that I call Chronicles, and it says, hidden gems of my truth, 15 years of writing, 15 years of silence, my Dracula, overwhelmed, hidden, a familiar place to be, recreated stagnant peach holding the vase of resentment, depression for the bloom, colloquium, dialogues, no transparency, staring into my well, missing the dreamer, missing my moment. And I've talked and coached so many individuals who tell me, well, yeah, I work in this industry, and yes, I do these other things, but there are all these other things, creative ideas, books I want to write, maybe businesses I want to start that I want to do, quote unquote, one day. And one of the biggest things I've noticed since I've been holding these summits and town halls and workshops is that one thing we can do is we can figure out how can we deliver our service, or how can we engage with those constituents that we say we want to help? How can we do it effectively? So showing up online is one of the fastest ways you can do that. And if we were to think about what people do when we see them on the train, or well, we're all at home now, but when we see them on the train, we're often seeing people on their phone, right? They're clicking. So I think number one, C for click, create a strong message. Create something that really is useful and meaningful as it relates to maybe a project you're working on, or maybe your own portfolio. Then L, try to figure out how to locate the needs of those that you want to serve. Because let me tell you, Social Media Examiner is a great place for you to go and look at the trends as to how individuals are consuming all of the social media. So we do have different generations that access social media differently. So some people access Facebook more than others would access Instagram. And if you're in a given field, you really want to do some research to figure out, how can I really reach these individuals right now? And then ideation, think about ways that you can really be creative to really tap into some unique ways to reach your audience. So that might be through having live streams. That can also be by having Zoom meetings. That can also be having teleconferences. That's a great way to start to galvanize excitement around this very time when you literally have thousands of people at home. And then letter C, you want to be able to have a call to action in everything that you do when it comes to either kickstarting something as a digipreneur, or kickstarting, maybe having more people understand what you're passionate about. And then the last letter, K, you want to be able to measure that and look at the keys of investment on your return. Meaning, if you spent 5 weeks promoting something that you're passionate about, or sharing something you're passionate about, you should be able to measure how that actually, how that outcome actually relates back to your core mission, or to the core thing you say you want to do. So when I think about what's going on right now with COVID, I do understand that many people are feeling anxious, and many people are feeling like, what does this mean for me? But one thing I want us all to remember is that even during the Black Plague, creativity was happening all day long. Even during those really crazy times back then, there was such a hunger and thirst for education, for knowledge, for research, for innovation. And I want to say that perhaps this can be that exciting time that you see, a time where you can say, you know what are some of the things maybe I even did at Emerson? What were some of the projects I was involved in? And what are some of the things I can do today to move my own pendulum, whether it's in my career or something I'm doing personally, to move it forward. So I just wanted to stop by here really quickly to encourage you to continue to have these wonderful live stream discussions and to continue to follow this beautiful page and to get to know others in the Emerson community. And I would love to hear from you. I mean, how are you staying strong in the midst of the pandemic? Does anyone want to give their comments? How are you staying strong? And what are some of the things that you are doing presently to keep your own pendulum going? So I've heard everything in the past chats I've done, from people trying to stay fit at home, to reaching out to loved ones, to finding a way to donate, right? So there are so many things we can all do to keep the pendulum going. I just want to stop by and say, hey, remember to click. Remember that now is a great time to think about really how you can be super creative. And now is an awesome time to try to think about how you can reach those people or individuals that really need what it is that you have to offer. And perhaps you said, well, I haven't done, certain things in a long time. Well, this might be an opportunity for you to have what I call good moments of incubation. Well, I'm going to take this time here, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in. For those of you who come on in and tune in later, I want to let you know that I am offering a $500 voucher for coaching for anyone who is or considers themselves a new entrepreneur or an entrepreneur who's looking to scale their business. I want you to be able to think a little more clearly about how you can leverage and pivot in this volatile time. So I want to thank you and thank the EBONI Alumni Association for inviting me to come out to be a part of this wonderful live stream. And you guys take care and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, you can also follow me at the links I'll provide below. I look forward to connecting with each of you. Thank you.